I'm gonna
Yes.
present and we will start. Okay, so we're just gonna go over, this presentation is 37 slides long, but what I've put together is just the basics of email marketing, and we're just gonna go through it step by step, like from the ground up. If you don't have an email marketing service, or you don't have a list of email addresses from your customers or anything right now, that's okay. If you already have a list, you're still gonna learn things too. So we'll just start going through this here. Okay, email is not dead. A lot of people think that like, email marketing, why would I waste my time with that? Well, email is a great way to make connections with the people that keep your business alive, your customers, right? So email is not dead, and we're gonna talk through why it's not dead. Okay, here are some ways to use email marketing. You can use email marketing to build relationships with your customers, boost your brand awareness, promote the content that you're creating on your blog or your website or on social media. If you're creating videos, all of those things can be promoted within your email. You can generate leads that will lead to sales for you if you're trying to sell products or services. And then it's also just great marketing for your product as well. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways to use email marketing. Email marketing also has some great benefits, but I'm going to stick with two of them. Okay, emails result in sales, like period. Emails result in sales, and there's tons of data that you can go find on Google, lots of studies, but emails create sales. People open their email daily, and they will, if you have a catchy subject line, they're going to open that email, and if your product or service in there interests them, they're going to click on that, and it will create a sale. And the other benefit of email marketing is that you are the owner of the email, right? So if any of you were here during my website training, we talked about why websites are important, and that websites are great because no one can take it away from you. It is yours, right? No other service controls it. You are the controller of your website. The same goes for email. You are the controller of your email list and how many times you send out an email and what those people receive. You control it. You're not controlled by Facebook. You're not controlled by Instagram or any of their rules. This is your platform. So this is another great marketing tool. Okay, so we're gonna start with how to create an email marketing strategy. Like, okay, I have, I'm ready to send emails. What do I do? How do I create a strategy? So let's talk about it. So to create a strategy, you are going to define your audience, establish your goals, create a way for people to sign up, choose an email campaign type, make a schedule, and then you're gonna track your results. And we're gonna dive into each one of these things. But I did wanna point out a really cool stat that I found. So people on average receive 121 emails every day in their inbox, okay? Some people receive less, some people receive more, okay? So that's good because people are receiving emails, they're checking their emails, they're using their email. But it also means that if you don't have a good strategy and a good subject line and an attention grabber and all of those things, then people aren't going to waste their time opening your emails. If they know your emails are valuable, then you can have them open them, and they'll be more likely to open them, I guess. Oops. All right, so let's go over the strategy. Define your audience. I'm pretty sure that we've talked about this in every training that I've done, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, your website, everything you have an audience for. And your audiences might be different depending on your platform. But the great thing about defining and knowing your audience is that you know what they like, you know where they live, you know what their interests are, you know maybe how much money they kind of make in that area. So do they have extra money to spend on home goods and things like that that you might be selling? And then you can tailor your email campaigns to them based on what your audience looks like. And everybody's audience is going to be different, and that's okay. I know in maybe my Instagram training. I can't remember which one. I shared a link that will help you define your buyer persona or your audience. So if you want that link again, if any of you don't remember that link, Jen, if you write it down, I can grab it for them. But that's a great tool to help kind of like walk you through the steps of defining your audience and figuring out who they are. It's created by HubSpot, I believe, and HubSpot is a fabulous place to go get data or ideas for marketing, all that stuff. So anyways, the first thing you're going to do, just like in any other marketing thing, that is you're going to define your audience. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to establish goals, right? And you don't want to make your goals like really big. You want to make your goals something that you know that you can achieve that year or in the next 3 months or 6 months, whatever, you know, your plan says. And my recommendation for that, because you're probably all sitting there and saying, well, what should my goals be? Because, you know, like how many people should I have opening my emails? Like, I don't know about email marketing. There are a ton of resources. If you do a Google search and say like email marketing rates for e-commerce stores, right? And it will pull up some research and give you some context on, okay, if I'm selling products and services, usually people open my emails at like a 5% rate, okay? I'm going to go to my next slide because I have an example of this. So again, I went to HubSpot, which they're a great resource, and you can see that they've put in different types of services, right? So you've got nonprofit, education, media and publishing, you've got healthcare, consumer products, all these things, right? And so nonprofits have a 24% opening rate, right? So if you set your goal to have a 24% open rate on all of your emails, if you're a nonprofit, then you can probably meet that because other nonprofits are able to meet that. I know that when I was doing the newsletter for Sunrise County, Jen, that you send out, we have an opening rate that is very close to that, actually.
I'm just looking at that, Jillian. Our open rate is running between 18 and 38%, depending on what's being sent out.
Yeah, so that's really great. So if you know what your industry standard is for opening rate and other goals that you might meet, if you know what your industry standard is for your goal, it's easier to set your goal. And you can find those by just doing a quick Google search as well. All right, let's see if it will let me go to the next one. So, okay. Create a way for people to sign up. All right. So you have all of these great emails and content and everything that you want to share, but you have to have email. You have to have people to email, right? And in order to collect email addresses, you have to have a way for people to sign up, right? So again, having a website is really great for this because you can put a little box, most websites have them, a little box that asks people to sign up for your email and maybe they'll get 10% off or something like that. Or if it's just a nonprofit, you don't usually have to offer anything. You're just offering a newsletter or something like that. But you have to create a way for people to sign up in order to build your email list. You can also collect emails on your e-commerce store. So if you're selling things online, as people go to checkout, you can collect their email address and ask them to sign up for like your emails, whether it be a newsletter, you know, whatever they are, promotions. And that's another great way to collect email addresses. Jen, can you still see me?
Yes, I can.
My Zoom just did something very crazy on my computer. Just
Oh.
like it closed all the faces and then now it just opened them back up. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next slide since I'm still here. Okay, then you're going to choose an email campaign type, and I'm going to dive into all of the types in a second. But there are tons of different types of email campaigns that you can run depending on what you're trying to achieve. And you just need to decide what's best depending on your audience. So again, we're going back to defining your audience. Your audience will also tell you what kind of emails you should be sending out to them. So let's dive into all the different campaign types. Okay, let's say you wrote this amazing blog or created an amazing video and you want to share it. You've probably shared it to your social channels, right? You've put it on IGTV, you've put it on Facebook and YouTube. But another great place that you can share that content that you've created is in an email announcement, and you can send it out to them. So this is also if you had a new product. It's a single one-time offer. Maybe you're offering 10% off. Maybe you just wrote a blog about how to use your product. Just a one-time announcement. That's one type of email that you can use. Product updates, right? So if you are actually selling like a physical product, a great example of this is like, for instance, a software on your computer, right? So you're selling an actual product. And I'm thinking about, okay, Denise, I'm thinking of you, QuickBooks, okay? If QuickBooks updates their software, more than likely, if you use it, you're going to receive an email from them in your inbox that says, hey, we've updated our software. It might list a bunch of the really cool features, and then it's going to have a place where you're going to be able to click to learn more. Probably that bounces them back to a website. But even if you had like you sold some sort of tool, right? If you updated that product, you may want to send a product update, because it just reminds people that you're there and shows them all the functionalities of whatever you're selling. Okay, a lot of nonprofits do this, and it's like a digital magazine or a newsletter, right? So you just have to decide how many times you're going to send this, right? Is it going to be a monthly newsletter? Is it going to be a weekly newsletter? You choose, and you put it out based on your preference. But that is another great way to reach your customers. And when you do a newsletter, make sure that you're consistent. If you say that this is going to be a weekly newsletter, it's got to go out at the same time on the same date every week or every month, whatever you do. So Sunrise County Economic Council does a great weekly newsletter, and you guys are always good about getting it out on the same day at the same time every single week, right? So people know that when they open their inbox on Mondays, they're going to have that sitting in there waiting for them, and they can read everything that they need to know, right? So if you do a newsletter, make sure you're consistent. Jen, I see that you unmuted.
Well, I was just going to say that every once in a while, for some reason, someone's email will mark it as spam and not have it go through.
Yep.
So I've had people contact me to say, where is it? It didn't come into my email this morning. So yes. People do look for it when you send it the same date.
Yep. Okay, an event invitation. Actually, great example of this is, again, SCEC sent out an event invitation, right, for all of these workshops. And then you accepted that event invitation and you signed up and all of that. So if you're holding an event like an open house or anything, maybe it's a digital event like a happy hour online, right? You can send out an event invitation to your email peeps. Okay, a dedicated send, all right? This is if you want to send out an email to a certain group of your entire email list. So one really good thing about using an email marketing software, which we'll talk about further down in this presentation, is that you can split up your list. It's called segmenting your list. You can segment your email list into separate categories, right? So if you were selling 3 different types of products or services and you knew each email address was associated with a type of product, right? And you just wanted to hit one of those products with an email. You can do that with email marketing services like MailChimp or Constant Contact or HubSpot. And you would dedicate that send just to that small portion that you know you want to target with that email. Okay, that's a dedicated send. The next type that you can do is co-marketing, right? So it's just basically when two companies decide to work together on anything, a product, a service, an event, like anything, you're also creating a co-marketing email. So you can send out an email to your list and your partner company can send out emails to their list. And you're probably going to include both of your logos, and you're just leveraging each other's audience, right? So sometimes it's really good to work together with other businesses or nonprofits to leverage their audience. And the same goes for social media, right? So if you're doing a co-marketing campaign with someone, you're not only going to send out a co-marketing email, but more than likely you're going to put co-marketing stuff out on all of your social channels, and you might even have a page on your website dedicated to it, right? So this goes beyond just email marketing. But yeah, co-marketing is a great way to get more people to see your emails. Okay, we've all received one of these, and I'm pretty sure I can guarantee it because you all received a confirmation email, hopefully, when you signed up for this training, right? So Jen's email service that she uses, when you sign up for this training, it will automatically send you the confirmation email. So Jen didn't have to take time to go in and send each one of you a message really quickly, which is really helpful to businesses who don't have a lot of time on their hands, right? So we've all received some sort of confirmation email, and I think that that's great. Like, I don't know about you, but when I make a purchase online, I sit and I wait for that confirmation email to like ding on my phone. And then I'm like, okay, whew, my order went through, I'm all set. And I can refer back to that email if I have questions, right? So it's easy to set up confirmation emails if you have an e-commerce store or if you're signing up for an event, all that stuff. It's very simple to set them up. Okay, a form submission kickback, like a thank you email. Okay, so have you guys ever gone to a landing page and they're like, download our free content calendar for Instagram, right? And you download that content calendar and you'll get it on your computer, but they'll also they required you to download. In order to download, you had to enter your email address. One, that gets them your email address. So now they can start sending you all kinds of other marketing material. But two, they can send you an email saying, hey, thanks for downloading our stuff. Here's some other stuff that you might be interested in as well. Okay. So, and again, these emails are automated and they're easy to set up. Once you set it up, you can set it and forget it, which is great for small businesses who don't have time. Also, a similar type of email is a welcome email. So anytime someone signs up for your email, right, to receive emails from you, they should initially receive a welcome email. So if they go on your website and they type their name in and they enter all their information and say, sign up for your newsletter or emails, or whatever you're going to send, they should instantly receive an automated welcome email. It just thanks them for signing up for your emails. If you're a store, you might say, thanks for signing up for our emails. Here's 10% off. You see companies do that all the time. All of those things, right? So welcome emails are just another type of campaign that you will see. Okay, that's all the campaigns that I have. Next, we're going to dive into making a schedule for your email. And we've talked about this with all of my social media trainings as well. You need to make a schedule, especially if you're going to have a newsletter. You definitely want to make sure you're on track with that. But then even if you're not doing a weekly newsletter, you should probably sit down every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, whenever you want to write your marketing plan and kind of like schedule out what emails you're going to send when. doesn't mean that other emails won't come up throughout the year that you might have to send, you know, during other times that you didn't think of. But if you can mark out those emails that you know you're going to send every year and kind of lay them out on your calendar, as well as with all your other marketing materials, you can really see when you need to start working on things, because emails do take a little bit of time to work on, because you're going to need to come up with the copy, you're going to need to find images, and then if you use a marketing software, an email software, you're going to go in there and design what your email looks like too. So making a schedule can really help you make time and make sure you get it all done and stay on track with your goals. Okay, and the last thing you're going to make sure that you do is you're going to measure your results. And so you're going to look at your open rate and all kinds of things. We're actually going to talk more about results a little bit further down in my presentation, but part of your strategy is going to be looking at those results and saying, okay, that worked. We're going to keep doing that. Or, okay, that didn't work. We're not going to do that anymore, and we're not going to waste our time. We're going to try this new venture, right? So just make sure you're always tracking your numbers and know what's working and know what isn't working with your audience. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? No. Okay, good. So now we're going to talk about how to build your email list. So let's say you have 0 email list right now, right? You have like 2 customer emails. How do I get 500 people on my email list, right? Let's talk about it. Okay. One of the biggest things that you can do is create lead magnets. And that is something that attracts customers to your email list. And it's usually a free offer. So I already talked about this, right? Sign up for our emails and you can receive 10% off your first purchase, and it will come with a coupon code. So that's giving people incentive to sign up for your emails. Other things that you can offer are, if you sign up for our emails, get our free ebook on how to do blah, 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 right? If you're a service oriented business. You could provide them with an infographic, a report or a study, a marketing checklist, a template for making, I don't know, photos. You could give them access to a free course or a webinar or a tool, anything like that. Or a free wreath hanger with your wreath purchase if you sign up for our emails. All of those things incentivize people to sign up for your list and will help you grow your list. If you don't have an incentive for people to sign up for your emails, more than likely they won't, unless you're a nonprofit. Nonprofits, a lot of people sign up for yours for an email newsletter. They want to hear about what you're doing in the community. But for businesses, you definitely really have to attract them. So find a way that you want to attract them and make sure that when you put that on your website, right, you have your little box on your website for them to sign up. You want to put that right on there, like sign up for our emails, receive 10% off, receive this download, receive, you know, whatever it is. You want to make sure that that's in big letters so that people understand that. And you can also promote that on social media as well. You could have a pop-up on your website. I know that when I shop for clothes and I'll go on a website, a pop-up will come up, right? And it will be like, sign up for emails and save 50%, 15% today. You know, you can set up those pop-ups on your website very easily. It's not something that just giant corporate companies can do. And these email softwares that I'm going to share with you will allow you to do that. They can integrate with your website. All right, let's keep rolling. So I started talking about this already, but your opt-in form, that's the little box on your website that people sign up for your emails on. Make sure that it's enticing and is eye-catching, right? Like a lot of people kind of just like stick them at the bottom of their page on their website, which is fine, but you have to make sure that all the content as they scroll down is enticing enough to get them to scroll all the way down. And then you have to make sure that your opt-in form is enticing enough for them to read it, right? Even if you decide to not put the sign up form at the bottom of your website and maybe it's a pop-up on your website, you have to make sure that that pop-up is really enticing and looks really good, and make sure your offer that you're offering is in big, bold letters, right? So you want to make sure that not only do you have those lead magnets, but those lead magnets need to look really, really good on your website as well, okay? Okay, now we're gonna dive into how we send marketing emails. And I have 6 basic steps, and we're gonna walk through all of them. Okay, the first thing that you are going to do in order to send marketing emails is you need to choose an email marketing service. Does anyone use any of these services right now? None. Jen, you use.
I was just unmuting myself. Sorry, for some reason my click wasn't working. We use Constant Contact here. So
Yeah.
any of you who received the, the thank you for registering, here's the information, all of that, it's come through Constant Contact.
I have used all 3 of these programs that I've listed. There are tons more, okay? These are just my preferences. Do your research, do some Googling, but these are my favorite ones. Constant Contact, MailChimp, and HubSpot. They offer fantastic email marketing services, and they also have other services that go along with it. Like, they'll be able to give you reports to track your open rates and your click-through rates and all of that stuff. So these guys, they're really good, and they're also not that expensive. I know that for a fact, I know that MailChimp is free up to your first like 1,200 email addresses or something like that that you import. So that's really great. But sometimes you want to pay a little bit more. I know that the next level of MailChimp, only because I just signed up for it for one of my clients, is $14.99, I think. And it allows you to do a little bit more segmenting within your lists and all of that. But it's actually really cheap software. It's not something that you have to spend, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on. It's like $14 a month. Like, that's doable. So, and they provide you with so much. You can also create landing pages on these. They're very powerful tools. And they also will make sure that your emails look good, no matter what device people open it on, all of those things. They take care of it for you. And you do not have to be a graphic designer to create anything on these platforms. They have templates that you can use. All you'll need to do is add your brand's colors, and we're going back to that branding training right at the beginning. You take everything that Ashley taught you in that branding training and you plop it into this email marketing services, and you put your logo in there, your colors, your fonts, all of those things you can change. And then when people receive them in their email, they'll look, like a professional email, like that you might receive from, I don't know, Gap or Old Navy. I don't know. Those are just places that I like to shop, that I receive emails from a lot. So you're going to choose that. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to follow some email marketing tips. We're going to go down through these tips one by one. So you need to choose images that are optimized for all devices and that are eye-catching and relevant. I could do a very deep dive on optimized images. If any of you have, does anybody not understand optimized images? Okay.
People being very quiet, Jillian. You might want to do just a brief description, just because.
Okay, so images, basically, if I took a beautiful image that I had just received from my photographer and just straight uploaded the high resolution JPEG to your website, it's going to load really, really, really slow, right? There's also sizing that goes into that of images and things like that. I think, what do I usually refer to? I think there's a HubSpot marketing blog that I refer back to for image optimization quite often. I can find that, Jen, if you want me to. Basically, don't use super.
That might have gone I'm sorry, that might have gone with the graphic design workshop. I'll take a look and see if that was the link that we sent out.
Yeah, maybe it might have been in there. But basically, you can't use super high resolution images in emails and websites and things like that because they will load extremely slow and people are not patient. They will move on to the next website or the next email if yours doesn't load. So use optimized images that are eye-catching and relevant to whatever you're selling. I recommend that you have a professional photographer come in and take photos for you of your product or service. Spend a little bit of money, have a photographer come, because then you have some of your own images. You can 100% use stock images for some things, but there's a time and a place for stock images. You also need to have images that are yours. Okay, you need to create a call to action that leads to a relevant offer that stands out on the email, right? So if you have a button that says read more or shop now, you know, whatever it is, just make sure your call to action is relevant to whatever you're talking about in the email and it stands out, right? Because that's what your email is about, that call to action. You want people to click that button to go to your website and then make a purchase, right? Your copy in your email should sound the same as your voice on Facebook and Instagram and your website. It should all be consistent. And you need to stick to one topic and don't write too much. Less is more on an email. Unless you're really doing a newsletter where people expect to read a lot. If you're thinking about I don't know, a sale email, right? That is offering you, we're offering 50% off at the store right now, shop now. You don't want that to say a lot. Like they don't have to go into great detail. I want to see some pictures of what is 50% off and a nice heading and a shop now button. Less is more. Studies say that Tuesday at 11 a.m. is the best day and time to send your email. I don't know why, but I've read that in multiple places. So I thought I would include that for you guys. Tuesdays at 11 a.m., everybody's checking their email apparently. Most emails, over half, are open on mobile devices. So not everybody is going to open your email on a desktop or a laptop. So have that in mind. One of the cool features that I know MailChimp and Constant Contact does is they will allow you to go in and you've edited your whole email and it looks beautiful. You can then click and view what it would look like on a mobile device and on a tablet and on a desktop. And you can see all three of those things so that you know your email is 100% ready to go and will look good because half of your users may be opening that on their mobile device. This is the same thing as your website, right? Your website should be able to, you know, crunch down and look good on a mobile device. Same thing with your website. When you're writing your emails, say it like you're writing to a friend, you know? You don't want to sound too, I don't know, you want to be easy to read, right? Because you want it to be quick and easy to read. We already talked about that. But you want your email to just read nicely, like you're having a conversation with a friend. But still make sure it matches your brand voice as well. But conversational emails do go over better with people. And your language needs to be really, really clear. Okay. Those are the tips. Okay. The next thing that you can do is personalize your marketing email. And we talked a little bit about your buyer persona, right? So if you know who that is, you can personalize your emails even more. If you know that they're interested in the outdoors, you can make sure that you use photographs that only are of the outdoors. So you know that's going to entice the person. Other ways to do it, you can add a first name in your subject field. So when people sign up for your emails, they will usually ask for your first name, your last name, and your email address. And then that all gets put into one contact in your email marketing software. Your email marketing software can then pull that first name and say, it can say for each email, it will change it. It will say, hi, Jillian. Hi, Jen. hi, all the different people that you're sending it to. It will pull their first name and personalize each email, which is really nice, right? When you see something with your name on it, you're more likely to read it. You can add that in the subject field. You can add it into the first line of your email. Make sure you're writing about relevant and personal events, things that you know your audience is going to be interested in. And then another great thing that you can do is take your digital signature and put it at the bottom of your email. Don't just say like, thanks from Jillian, you know? If I put my personal signature on there, it looks a little bit more professional. There are lots of different ways that you can make a digital signature, and I could try to find a resource for you if you don't have a digital signature yet. But a digital signature is also something that you can use on your graphic design stuff that you've created that has a lot of purposes. So add your signature at the bottom. That's always really nice. Okay, use marketing templates. So each one of your emails, you will be able to go into your software. Let's say we're using MailChimp. I'll log into my MailChimp account and I'll start a new email, and then it will allow me to go through, and it will have, I know Constant Contact has hundreds of email templates that you can scroll through and pick one that you really like. Then all you are left to do is change your words, maybe change the colors, and change out the photos for a photo that's yours. But the actual design of the email is all done. So you don't have to have any design background in order to make that happen. So that's really, really great. And I think that's one of the best features of purchasing a marketing software, an email software, versus just sending an email from your Gmail account, right? Your emails will look professional, and you don't have to be a professional to get them to look that way. You can do it for a pretty low price. Okay, email does have regulations that we have to follow, okay? And for us in the United States, I'm only going to cover the United States, okay? There are a few other regulations, especially like if you went over to Europe, if you're selling in Europe, you need to make sure that you're following these regulations as well for people. So there's more. So do your research about regulations depending on where you're selling your products and services. But always follow the rules. You do not want to have to contact your lawyer. Okay. So in the United States, it's called the CAN spam. Okay. And it's a way to protect your subscribers' right to only receive emails that they've requested. Like, no one wants to be spammed with emails that you didn't request. Have you ever unsubscribed from emails? Yes. It is a law that people have to be able to click unsubscribe on emails and unsubscribe from them. You cannot force people to have your email, to receive your email. You also can't pay to get a bunch of people's email addresses and dump them into your email software and start sending to them. They have to request to get your emails, and then you have to make sure that they can request to not get your emails anymore. There are also a few other things that go along with that. You have to include your company name and address in every email. MailChimp and Constant Contact and HubSpot all force you to put that at the bottom. There's like a little footer at the bottom of every email, and they will force you to put it in there before you send. You have to have visible unsubscribe links, which are generally, again, down in that footer. You have to use a real email address in the from and reply to fields, right? So you can't put in a phony email address. You have to use a real email address. And then you have to write subject lines that indicate the content of the email. So you can't use some like flashy subject line and then your email, like when they click into it, be something totally different. Your subject line does have to relate to what your email is. And I just want to note that this is not everything. Please don't use me as a legal advisor. I am not a lawyer. Please do your research, and you could ask your lawyer about CAN spam laws, and they probably have like some little flyer that they could give you. But there's way more information on Google. Use that use your lawyer. Don't use me. I'm just warning you about it.
Just, Jillian, even with constant contact, when you go to input someone, a contact, it actually says you have permission to add this person to your contact list, and you have to click yes.
As constant contact in MailChimp, they want people to sign up for your emails using a little box on your website, because then they know someone has filled it out and then they collect it. But if you go in and take a spreadsheet like a mile long that has 1,000 email addresses on it, you have to confirm that you have the right to use those emails. And you might. I know that one of my clients had been collecting email addresses when people would make purchases, but they had never actually taken those email addresses and sent emails, right? So we imported them, and we had to assure MailChimp that, yes, we did have permission to use these. These people did sign up for emails. We just are changing, you're either changing softwares or you're starting to use a software, whatever. But yeah, you have to have permission to use emails. Another thing, and it's not regulations, but how to avoid spam filters. You spend all this time creating this beautiful email to go out. You do not want it to go into someone's spam. Okay, you can get whitelisted, which puts you on a list of, just like a blacklist is a bad list. You don't want to be blacklisted. You can be whitelisted. Google it, and a whitelist, like how to get whitelisted, will pop right up. And you should be able to follow through with that very easily. If you're struggling with it, I can definitely pull together a quick resource on how to get whitelisted if you want. You should avoid spam trigger words. Just like on Instagram, there's banned hashtags. There's trigger words that email, like a Gmail account will pick up and automatically be like, oh, that's spam, and plop you right into a spam box instead of putting you into the inbox. Again, you can do a quick Google search and find those spam trigger words. Make sure you're not using those in your subject lines. Use a reliable email service provider. Constant Contact, MailChimp, and HubSpot are reliable email service providers. Another thing that you can do is implement a double opt-in. A double opt-in is, okay, I go onto your website and I fill out the form, right? My first name, my last name, my email address. Great, I'm signed up for emails. Well, an email will come to, I will be sent an email to my address, and I will click on it, and I need to open it, and I have to confirm within that email that, yes, I did sign up for emails with you. And that, when your Gmail account or your Hotmail account, whatever it is, can see that, and it will help it learn, the artificial intelligence, learn not to put it in your spam and to put it in the inbox, because you did sign up for it. Okay? So there's some ways to avoid spam. Okay, we're moving into the last section of this, which is the email marketing analysis, right? So you've signed up, you've created your list, you've created a sign up on your website, you've been sending emails and all the things, your audience, you've done it all, right? So now you have some data to work with, okay? So now you're gonna analyze that data, okay? You need to set up marketing KPIs. And these 4 right here are the most common, what people track. They track whether things get delivered or not, because you will always get emails that you'll get a bounce back, right? Like, that email didn't send. I know when I was sending SCECs, we had a certain amount of emails that bounced back, and that's okay. That happens to everyone. People shut down their email addresses, and they don't use them anymore. Their inboxes become full, all of that stuff, and it makes the email undeliverable. So how many emails are consistently getting delivered when you press send? How many people are opening that email after you press send? Then on top of that, you're going to have a call to action in there, right? You're going to have a button or a link or a video or something. What's the click-through rate? How many people are opening and clicking on your links? And then how many people are unsubscribing? as well. So you can track what's working and what's not working for you using those KPIs. Those are just the general ones that people use to track their email marketing. Any questions on those? Because that's pretty much everything that you need to know about email marketing, I believe. I don't think I have any more slides. Nope, that's it.
Jillian, if you want, I can open up, I can share my screen and show our constant contact so that people can see the sends, clicks, all of that.
That would be fantastic. I can't share any of my clients. I don't have permission, so
I can share ours. I have permission.
that would give them a really good idea of like what if you want to click into like one and have it, start a new email and show them some templates, like that would all be really great stuff so they can see the power of constant contact.
Sure. Can you see my screen with the clicks and all of that, sends, clicks, all that? Just because I might as well just start here so people can get an idea of what it is. It's and as far as tailoring to specific audiences, like this dartboard NHA Thursday, it went specific to 45 specific people who are interested in National Heritage Area possibilities.
Right. So you segmented your list to fit that audience.
Yep. Local happenings goes to a much larger group. And, Family Futures Down East went to a decent sized group. So you can see how many people actually opened the email, how many people clicked on a link within it, how many bounces you had, and how many people unsubscribed. There was a larger number of unsubscribes here. We had, and this kind of gets to the idea of making sure that, there could be changes with, email servers or whatever services. So we had Dart emails added to our constant contact list. And so a couple of emails got sent to people who are looking for tourism related information, but not necessarily looking for other information that we've sent out. So we had 5 unsubscribes on that one. So we made sure that we no longer include that list in emails, but did send them a notice saying, if you would like to be added to our other lists, please let us know. So anyway, but you can see this local happenings just went out on Monday. So 19% open rate. That's not great, but it's only been out a couple days.
That seems small though, but the 19% opening rate is really on track with your industry standards. So it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know they do tell us where the industry standards are. Well, you can actually see what links people clicked on. So what is what people are attracted to as far as what's in your message.
You can see that people have opened on desktop and mobile. You actually have more desktop viewers than mobile viewers.
Yeah. So come on, this is the template that we use each week. So it used to be just pretty much an event listing with things that our nonprofit partners had going on. And with COVID, we've changed it to resources and opportunities so that we could include information that people might need. If you're not receiving this, you can sign up right on our website, sunrisecounty.org. And you can go through and read as much or as little of it as you want. And then let me go to here. Come on. Oh, all right. This is our campaigns.
If you go over on the
create, so if we want to create an email, see here are some of the templates that they give you that you can work from. Here, I'll pull this one up. It's actually pretty easy to just, you can click, this is an image. So you could replace the image and go in and pick something of your own and insert it. And then you can change your sizing, you can do whatever you want. So, and then as far as text, you can change it however put your own spin on it so that you're using your branded fonts or whatever it is. You know, and make it say whatever you want. It's much easier than starting from scratch and having to figure out where to place things. But then you can also add, if you want to add an image, you can just drag it in and pop it right in there. Or if you want to add a title and give it a little bit of a call out, it'll give you an opportunity to put in a headline and, you know, in a colored background box that you can arrange and adjust. So
could you go back, because when you press that create button, there's also all the other options that I want to show them. That would be great. So if you hit that create button again, it should pop up. So if you want to create an automated email, like a welcome email, you can do that through your email automation. I don't recommend using their stuff for social posts. I really don't. You should be using the actual platform to do that. But you can create an event. You can create a survey. You could create a landing page or a website on here. Again, I don't recommend it. I would have your own website, and then you would purchase a widget or a tool that would integrate Constant Contact with your website itself. But if you needed a landing page like really badly for an event or something, you could create one on here. So there's lots of options, and MailChimp, Constant Contact, HubSpot, all of these places, it's all very similar. It's drag and drop design, upload your images, all that type of, all those types of things. So they're very simple to use and easy to understand your numbers and what's working and what's not for you.
So for today's workshop, okay, so in here, you know, this event, so this is where you set up the basics, you know, what it is, where it is, who to contact, all that. If you have any fees, if they need an access code, if you've got coupons, donations, etc. But in the registration area, there we have, oops, the registration form itself, which you all saw because you're here. You know, so you did that. You can edit your logo, your designs, the fields. When you registered, you received the automated message, which is here, that says thank you for registering. You know, here's the Zoom link, and this is what you need to be able to participate. And then in the other piece of it, I do have a landing page, so that if someone comes across this event on Facebook, they're directed to the landing page, because it gives a little bit more information than the registration segment does. This is the same information that goes out in the email. And then I have eeny, meeny. So as for the other automated messages, you all should have received one yesterday saying, reminder, you have a training tomorrow. So set the automated message up for that at the same, when I went through and created the event itself, I set up the automated messages at the same time so that everything would go out when it needed to and was all set. And I didn't have to worry about making sure I could do that the day before. So that just covers a little bit of stuff.
Yeah. But Constant Contact, very similar to everything else. So everything that Jen is showing you, you can definitely get on all kinds of other email marketing platforms as well. But just pick the one that's right for you and do a little Googling and some research on it. That's all I have for email. And I mean, that pretty much covers every single thing that you would need for email. Email's not a huge platform. It's pretty basic. So if you have any questions, let me know. Anybody have any questions about email? I mean, you've all used email forever, so you probably you probably all know how to use basic email. It's just adding the marketing to it is all this is.
And when you get into like Constant Contact and the other programs, they have tutorials. So,
Yeah.
you don't have to pull it up and think, oh my word, I've got to figure out what this means and how to take care of it all. There are plenty of options to go in and figure, and follow along and learn how to use the different bits and pieces. There.
Okay. I think that's everything.
All right. So no one has any questions? That's it. You guys have been really quiet today.
I have it, and I know it's probably a case by case, business dependent. But do you find in general, like, and this goes back to some of the social media trainings as well, what a good pace is among the different options as far as like social media, email,
Like how often you should be.
strategy. Yeah. And I know it's probably different, but just in general, a general strategy. So it's not overwhelming people or not in their.
You definitely walk a line, just like with any, like you said, with any social platform, anything, there's a line. You do not want to spam people. I have a spam email that I use, like, right? So if I want to sign up to get that coupon code from Old Navy, I'm going to use my spam email address for that just like gets a bunch of emails in it with coupons and everything. But I still check that email all the time. And I receive some emails from brands every single day, right? But these are large brands. I don't think anyone is expecting that from a small business, that you need to have, you know, an email once a day. I would like to say once a week hearing from you is not overboard at all and is really, really nice. Sometimes if we only hear from you once a month, you're maybe a little bit too quiet, but it really just depends on your industry too and what you're doing. I know I have a seasonal client and we will send people 2 emails a week for 7 weeks, but then we're like quiet for the rest of the year. And so people don't really care that much, So it kind of just depends. But I mean, Facebook's the same way. You don't want to make 3 posts in one day, schedule them, spread them out.
Yeah. And where I was coming from as far as the thinking process is, this business that my mother and I are gearing up. It's something that, like, I get really excited about the marketing strategy, but we're not looking to gain a ton of clients up front. It's going to be kind of a slow grow. So similar to like what you were saying for your strategy, it's not probably going to be super out there at first, but we definitely want people to know that we're doing it. So it's trying to figure out like, how much we put out there, because we want to be able to service.
So one thing that you have to remember is that people who have signed up for your email is probably someone that you're already, they're already a client of yours, or they have some connection to you, right? Where social channels, you can reach people who aren't your clients, but with the email, they have to sign up for your email. So they have had some sort of connection. So let's say that you're just emailing clients. You can just email them like really good information. Like you could do a newsletter for them, even if it was just monthly, if it's just your clients. Do a newsletter for them that will give them some really great tools. You can link to other people's websites. Like if you found a really great article in the Wall Street Journal that will help your clients with their bookkeeping, you could link that in an email and do a newsletter. But they definitely already have a connection to you. So that's why there's more of a chance for them to open the email, because they had to take the step to sign up. They want to hear from you. Where social media, they may not want to hear from you, right? Because they didn't necessarily sign up to hear from you or something. Email, right. They signed up to hear from you. So they do want your content. So, yeah.
So is a training that we had done some time ago now, was looking at customer service. And one of the tools that they had used was a customer comment card. If you've got people that are coming into your business. So on this card, it collects information about, just says our customers are very important to us. We hope you received special care in our business. Help us improve by providing feedback about your experience. along with, how did you rate this experience? How great did we do? How was our product, etc. It also collects information like, what is your gender? What is your, list age categories? May we email you with special offers? If so, please give us your email address. How many people are in your party? How often have you been here? So that can help you with looking at your audience persona as well. So if you're doing a targeted Facebook post, you can select your audience there, if you're going to boost a post. So that, most of the people who are purchasing from you are 44 to 54 or whatever it might be. So you can use that to help target your audience as well. And you can do, if you're doing any kind of electronic sales, you could do the same thing. You could have an online customer feedback. So.
It also builds into one of the prior trainings. I can't remember if it was Jillian or Ashley, where they said about getting testimonials. Ask, can we use this on our, for marketing or whatever? That's a great way to get that type of feedback too.
Yep. Okay.
Well, if there's nothing else, I guess we'll let you go.
It's super helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yep. So if you have not signed up for local happenings, the one that I've been pointing out on Constant Contact, please do, because then you'll get information about the workshops that will be going on later on this year as well. And hopefully we'll see you there. So thanks, everyone.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.